How you doing? My name's Peter. Welcome to Orchard Ford. And here we're talking with Len, and we're going to talk about how to get the best price at a dealership. Now, I'm pretty excited. So, Len, tell me, what's like the number one thing to get the best price for a vehicle?
And purchasing the right vehicle is a key component to that, and getting the right vehicle that fits your needs. And
yeah, so I heard a lot about that too, because my always thing is like, hey, I just want to let's negotiate, right? But you always talk about get the right car for my own needs. So how many times do actually people don't get the right car? Like, how often does that happen?
it happens quite often. People get suckered in by a price or a payment or an interest rate or whatever, and then they end up buying a vehicle that doesn't fit their needs.
Right.
And at that point, you got to do something if the vehicle isn't fitting your needs. So you end up trading it in, and you lose taxes and depreciation and such. So if you buy the right vehicle the first time, it's a lot easier than buying the wrong vehicle several times.
Okay, so let's talk about this beautiful Mustang here.
Yeah.
So this is a great car, and I have 5 kids. No, actually I don't have 5 kids. I have 3 kids. But so this probably wouldn't be my best primary car for the kids, right?
Right.
Is this what you're talking about?
If this is your main mode of transportation and stuff, and you can't get your family in, it's probably not going to work for you. But if it is your Sunday driver and you're using it for special occasions, it might be the perfect car for you.
Right.
But, we talk a lot about trucks and trailers and what people use trucks for, and what they use their vehicles for. Buying the right, especially in a truck, buying the right truck to suit your needs, your trailer, your towing, whatever you're doing, is really important. If you buy too light a truck and you got to trade it in, that's going to cost you extra
that's
money.
when you really start kind of losing money or getting where people talk about the best price. Because you're right. You're like, I've always sucked into, I'm like, hey, there's a good deal, or there's a special, financing rate. You get sucked into that, and then that you get focused on that payment process. But then the vehicle is not right for me. So you're saying that's where the problem arises.
Yeah, some people have to buy, several vehicles before they finally get to the one that'll fit their needs. And every time you buy a vehicle, you're paying, it costs you something, right?
It costs you something. Got it.
So
All right.
No doubt about that.
So let's talk about this. The classic one. I always look at the price tag. That's MSRP. So that's it. What does that stand for? Is that my special reasonable price?
Yeah. Manufacturer's suggested retail price.
Manufacturer's suggested manufactured suggested retail price. Okay.
So if you go to any Ford dealership in Canada, that will be the same price on this car anywhere in Canada. Even back east, where they're close to the factory, they pay the same amount of shipping as a dealership out west here in BC.
Oh, okay.
So the MSRP is the MSRP that's set from Ford.
That's set from Ford.
Yeah.
Now, is there a chance where I can go in and you don't pay the MSRP?
Well, if you got a lot to, in this market with hot product, and up and coming product that's hard to get, and dealerships are low on inventory, there are dealers that are marking up MSRP.
Oh, really?
So you have to kind of watch that and make sure that you're not even paying over MSRP, and you can compare that to your manufacturer's website compared to the window stickers and stuff like that.
So to get the best price, you always got to check the manufacturer's website and then check the dealership website and they should match, no?
They should match, but sometimes when product's hard to get, guys are charging a premium over it.
They'll mark it up.
Yeah.
Right.
So you can take some of that away by doing a factory order too.
Yeah.
You get a better price by doing a factory order, possibly not paying for options you don't want.
Right.
Not getting stuff that you're not happy with. You get exactly what you want and pay for the stuff that you want.
So it goes back to get in the car that's good for you to get the best price. Okay, let's go back to the factory one. You made a really good point there. So if I'm impatient, which I totally am, right? I want things now. I saw the deal. I want the car right now. That's not going to give you any kind of quote-unquote negotiation power. But if you're more patient, you know what you want, you have the ability to order, from the factory, is that gonna potentially give you the best possible to get the best price?
Yeah, for sure. That's your best chance of getting something thrown in or any kind of discount for sure. And it's also, you get your best price because, again, you're not paying for things that you don't want.
Right.
An option means, and some options can be pretty expensive. If the moonroof is not something that you're ever going to use and it's a $2,000 option, maybe you can choose not to go with, you get one out of stock.
You're going to save them automatically the $2,000 that you're talking about. Interesting. So let me ask you this bold question. How much flexibility is there for grinding? Yeah. You always think about that too. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, I'm gonna get you. No, doesn't work like that.
It's totally dependent on inventory levels and rebates from the manufacturer and stuff like that. You know, product that they want to move more of. You know, the manufacturer will come out with a rebate. You might get dealer discounts and stuff on that.
Right.
But if it's a one-off and it's the only one sitting on the lot, you're probably not going to get too much of a deal.
Right.
You know, so you got to choose what's important for you.
It's like the same thing why my kid comes up to me and says, Dad, can I buy these, I don't know, Nike sneakers? And you're like, what? Waiting on to go on a sale. Now there's no sale for those things because everybody wants them. So it's kind of that same supply, demand out there.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Just gonna take a quick pause. What is the sheet one there? Hey, okay, all right. Okay, I got one. Ready? We're still rolling? Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, so let's talk about, I want to buy this thing. What about credit? What about I have really good credit. Is that going to help me, or how's that going to work?
Good credit is really important in getting a good deal, for sure. You know, if you have good credit, you have purchasing power. You know, our finance department can shop it at several banks rather than just one bank that might charge you more interest and stuff. If you have poor credit, it's also important to shop around because you don't want to pay those extreme interest rates if you don't need to.
Right. Interesting.
But having a good credit is definitely, you know, you can lengthen the terms, you know, change the terms, you can lease it, you can finance, you can grab onto those promotions. If you have bad credit, a lot of times they'll up the interest rate, you know, because you're a higher risk.
Right.
So they'll charge you a little more interest rate. It's still possibly approve you, but you might be paying a higher interest rate, which will ultimately cost you more money.
Got it. Okay, so I came in here, I'm thinking, hey, I'm gonna just beat up Len here and I'm gonna force him to give me a better deal. But it's completely opposite. Number one, I need to know as a buyer exactly what I want that's gonna suit my needs, right? Because then you can say, hey, this is what you need, and from an options perspective. If I'm patient, that's what you're saying, if I'm patient and I can order from a factory, you're right, because those little things that you like and don't like, they all add up, right? That's how you're gonna get the best deal.
Yeah, and you wanna work with your salesperson and your dealership that you're gonna build a relationship with, you're gonna service the vehicle down the road, you're gonna, you know, have that contact if you have any problems or issues going down. So that's important. And by working with your salesperson and figuring out exactly what your needs are, you know, building some loyalty with that dealership and that salesperson will definitely help you down the road. And it'll also help you, you know, they can coach you with resale value and options that you might want to order, or trucks you might want to order to keep your resale value up. If you like newer vehicles more often, resale value is also a key to getting a good deal, right?
So you're actually almost like, hey, I'm going to spend a little extra money now, but I'm going to get a more resale value, which ultimately saves you
money in
the short term.
Yep.
Fantastic.
So with rising prices of new vehicles, you know, rising prices of used vehicles, so you're getting more in a used trade-in. So you really, even though there might not be massive discounts off MSRP, that holds the value up of used Mustangs, because the new ones are more money, so the used ones maintain their value better. So you definitely save money by looking after your trade-in, buying the right vehicle, thinking about resale value. You know, Fords have always, in the last 10 years, have had excellent resale value. You know, above the industry norm, which is really important.
Yeah. All right. So last one, let's talk about warranties, right? Because every time you always kind of talk about, hey, you want to extend warranty, and my thing is like, well, I bought a new car, it's got a warranty on it. Like, look at this thing. This is a beautiful thing, and if let's look under here.
Wow. Good old-fashioned American muscle.
Look at this muscle. This is a beautiful machine. Okay, so am I going to save money if I buy the warranty now with the new car, or if I buy it later? Like, how can I get a better deal? And is like with the warranty? Tell me about that.
Well, you got to look at your cost of ownership. What does it cost you to drive X car, this car right here?
Yeah.
You know, one of the big costs of that is maintenance and warranty.
Yeah.
So every vehicle, you know, there's a chance that something might go wrong. So the joy of new, the first 3 years are always the best year of a vehicle's life. You know, all the manufacturers have a 3-year warranty covering pretty much everything.
Yeah.
When you get past the 3 years, then it comes out of your pocket. You know, as a maintenance. So now they have maintenance plans. They've got extended warranties, so you can prepay for your maintenance. They give you a discount if you do that.
Oh, interesting.
And when you go to trade in a vehicle, the first thing the used car manager or any person that appraises a vehicle want to look at is, have the maintenance records been done? Have all the maintenance been upkept and that, so they know what they're going to have to spend down the road.
Yeah.
Which is really important when you look at your cost of driving. So, you know, if you shop around and you get a good deal on extended warranty, you know, that can be transferable and that can increase your trade-in value and give you years of cost-free driving.
Got it.
The maintenance, by prepaying it ahead of time, Ford gives you a discount, and then you can take that maintenance and you can get it done at any dealership. If you're traveling through North America, you can stop in a Ford dealership, get an oil change done, and it's all covered ahead of time.
Yeah.
So that keeps your day-to-day costs down too.
Fantastic. So just to recap it, some tips. So number one tip is know what you want, right?
Right.
That's the biggest thing I learned right now. I'm like, no, I'm trying to go strangle Len here to give me a best deal.
Buying the right vehicle only hurts once. Buying the wrong vehicle hurts over and over and over again.
That's the one. Okay, perfect. And then knowing it, and obviously too, looking at the extended warranty, being patient. Right, if you're patient and going, hey, I can pre-order something, you know exactly what you want. Because you made a really good point about the sunroof. I mean, I love sunroof, but I never use it. And that's like $2,000. That's like, hey, if I don't need it and I can order it, that's a good way to save some money. Yeah. Awesome. Fantastic. There you go. This is how you get the best price you can on brand new cars here at Orchard.